Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Hey, so did you ever watch Survivor Australia season 3?
No, I found most of it too. I think it was missing one episode, and I downloaded it. It's on my old gaming computer, actually.
So,
Um,
so I just finally sat down and started watching Survivor Australia season 2, which is the
yeah,
first one that you watched, and the one you thought was way more. I will tell you, way better than season 1. Though I thought
yeah.
season 1 was really intense as well. But oh my god, it's so hard to stop watching that show. And I can't even binge watch a regular season of Survivor when I have it all as easily as I can binge watch this show.
Oh yeah, it's so much of a better show.
It's
Like I can't wait till you get to the finale. Like I don't even remember now why, but I remember just being blown away by the end of that season.
There's been so many things that have happened in this one that I'm just like, these things should be implemented in normal Survivor for one, or some moments that I'm just like, I feel like all the contestants on Australian Survivor, both season 1 and season 2 that I've seen so far, most with a few notable exceptions of just stupid people, but most of them are way better with strategy than any American Survivor player.
Yeah, no,
they've
they've all seen the show for sure.
But
They've seen like the American
some of the
show.
people who play the Survivor this season that are playing like the winners.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
right
that people
now.
haven't here for sure. Like, I mean, Americans, because they always talk about I'm a seasoned watcher and all this. I've seen every season and I can name every contestant. But then meanwhile, they go and do the stupidest shit that you've seen every fucking idiot ever do. So it's like, what? How are you? Yeah.
I will tell you one of the most amazing things I've seen so far, and I've never laughed out loud as much at Survivor, and I won't give away exactly how it happens for anybody who's going to watch it, but they did a tribal council, and then immediately Jeremy, who's the Jeff Probst of the Australian Survivor, Jeremy was like, and as a twist, you guys sit right back down, you're voting somebody else out right now, and he didn't give him a chance to like discuss anything.
Right.
And clearly there must have been rules because nobody started scrambling to talk to each other. Either they didn't like take advantage of it, but it seemed like they were basically told like, you're not allowed to speak. Next person just go straight back to the voting booth and, start voting. And
Right.
it made me laugh so hard because the first person was clearly so smart, as opposed to like normally they get up there, they write the name and they're like, I'm voting, blah, 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 because I hate this person, or, whatever they do.
Oh yeah, they just yelled it out.
The first person just got up there and super loud was like, I'm voting Jim because, Jim's not the person you're voting, because I need my team to vote Jim with me. It's just like yelled it out so loud so that everybody could clearly hear. And I was like, these people are fucking brilliant. People on American Survivor have not ever been this smart or dedicated to be able to do this. I don't understand how they're that much better at a game that was invented in America that people are still playing. The fucking winter season, for the love of God, that I'm watching right now, people have made way stupider of concepts that you could have taken advantage of that they're just like, they can't. They just don't know how. And I don't, it baffles me how it can be that much different. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is night and day, the two shows, and I like that the fact that it's more episodes too. Like there's so many.
God, it's a lot. I binge watched all day on Saturday and Sunday, and most of the episodes are like 73 minutes long. So
I didn't realize that.
I'm assuming without commercials, that was probably like an hour and a half episode. Like when it aired or something like that on Australian TV, but now I'm watching it without. But I feel like I would be completely done with the Survivor season at this point with how many hours I put into it. And they're not even to the merge yet. Because it's that much longer of an episode. And that's why I was really curious if you had seen season 3 yet, because I need to get a hold of season 3 and prepare to watch it, depending on how, how crazy this, this thing gets and how much longer we're going to be, quarantined or doing, needing to fill up my life with, watching episodes of something, but because Russell Hantz is on it. Is he the only American? Is there?
I forgot that Russell Hantz is.
Well, and that's God, and that's why I want to get to it so bad, is because I want to know, like, for a man who got like banned from being able to play on Survivor again, I'm shocked that he's able to do that. Except for everybody's all about ratings.
Why is he banned?
I think so. He played.
Didn't he like
three or four
Didn't he like
times,
break?
and then he
The
from what
contract?
I understand, he gave away the order of what was going to happen to a bunch of people and some. Like he basically admitted, yeah, you're right. That's the order in a forum to people that turned out to be true. So they found it as a breach of contract. But who knows? This is also like rumor and speculation of, here's Harpoon Guy.
Harpoon Guy.
I want to get him. But yeah, so I'm surprised that they even let him back on. But it also makes me so curious.
Is it owned by the same? I mean, it's got to be, right? It's not just a license thing, is it?
I would think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ow, ow, ow. What am I doing? Oh, there's another Harpoon Guy. Oh, God. Run away. Ugh. I was like, I just killed this guy. Why am I still taking damage? But there's another Harpoon Guy that came after me.
Do you have loon on your sword?
I do. And looting 3? Yeah, looting 3. But that guy hit you, didn't he?
He sure did.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He's on land! I didn't think this guy was allowed to be on land.
You didn't think he was allowed?
I was supposed to be in the water. And only in the water. Man. Can't I just take these and be like, hey, I've got a harpoon now, too?
So you say you have a lot more time. Are you working from home now?
No, but I have a lot more time because the wife and kids have been out of town for, the past week and a half.
Oh, I forgot they were going out of town. Are they still out of town?
Yeah, and I don't know. They were talking about coming back.
God, I should have got you in here sooner tonight.
Yeah, they're talking about coming back at the end of the week, which is like great and all. I miss them tremendously, but at the same time, if we're really now expecting, new projections are showing that, like from this weekend showed that we weren't going to be like, we were going to get a peak, but we were going to have enough beds and all that stuff in DC. I guess there's a site you can go to see the current projections state by state.
Yeah, I was looking at that a couple days ago.
And I guess now it shows as of, for those who always want to know the date when we talk about this, 3/31/2020. I guess the last projection for DC showed like on April 12th or 14th, I can't remember which day, was going to be at the peak, and we were going to be 242 like ICU beds in the hole and 440 ventilators in the hole. Means short that many things, which is according to the weekend we weren't going to be short anything. So if this thing continues to have numbers that look like that, I'm not sure that they're going to come home. And
I've been like, I stare at the thing a couple times a day, and I've noticed that we're still not seeing any decline in the daily cases. But when you look at that graph that you're talking about, it's still like 2 more weeks out before we start to flatten the curve.
Which is going to be in DC. If you look at DC specifically on it, like whereas the US itself shows like there's definitely a peak, but DC's like a peak. It's like there's no flattening. It literally goes from like 0, 0, 0, not really 0, but low to like a billion to like straight back down, which is the whole concept of flattening the curve. It almost looks like social distancing in DC is not expected to do a damn thing because of just how high of a peak this thing is and how sudden of a peak it is, according to the chart that I saw. And I was just like, maybe we're just zoomed in or zoomed out to a certain perspective that makes it look like that, but that looks pretty nasty.
So it's gotten interesting with my daughter's school. The teacher, she has her normal classwork, and I've been structuring my house like the school. So like she has the same schedule that she had.
You got
in
those
the
little
classroom.
potties and everything that you put in your bathroom.
I've never gone into the bathroom at their school. I wonder if they have. I guess they probably do.
And a drinking fountain on the wall.
Yeah, no, but I mean the schedule is the same. So she gets up the same time. She has her breakfast the same time. She does her morning work the same time. Everything she would do at the school, she does here at the same time. Today was PE, but it was raining outside, so we reorganized where her bunny cage is at to give him more room to be able to leave his cage on his own and not be in her playroom anymore, so that I don't have to worry about him like chewing up her toys or anything. Because bunnies chew up fucking everything.
I would not have thought that, but go on.
Oh God, yeah, that's like I don't know, that's like how they touch things, I guess. Like, what's this like? Let me taste it. Like they're basically like the sharks of the land. Sharks have to bite everything to know what it tastes like, so they don't know. That's why they bite humans. They don't know.
These are like the 3-year-olds of
yeah, I guess that too. Yeah. So they're just, like if you have a bunny that you let free roam in your house, like you have to be super careful about cords because they just love to chew up cords. So where his open free run area now is completely cord free. And before, like, he basically lived in her playroom, but he only got to come out of his cage whenever she was there to like assist and like make sure that he didn't get into anything or anything like that. But now he's got an area in like basically my hallway in between like my living room and my bedroom and stuff like that. It's his area to get out and he can do whatever he wants when he wants and all that. So anyways, that's what we did for PE today is we like organized things because we couldn't go outside because it's raining. But then there's like English, math, all the things. She's keeping that schedule. But they've extended the timeout that they're out of school. And
you mean like forever?
No, that's what's dumb is they've extended it till the end of May, but then school ends like a week and a half later for the year. So why they didn't just extend it for the rest of the year, I don't know. I feel like that's what's gonna happen in the end. They're gonna realize like, oh shit, why do we even do this? Like, I feel like they're gonna like dawn on them like, oh, we should just all right.
Watch, they're gonna stick to this schedule and then realize that no teachers come back because they're like, we didn't plan on coming back for a week at the end of the school year.
So what's weird is all our teachers are still going to school and stuff, and like they put on, so they still have their school news. So like in the classroom, they watch a news broadcast that's produced by the students every morning. But right now it's being produced by the principal and the teachers. It's like today we watched the one for yesterday, at the normal time, because every morning they don't do their morning work. They watch the school's news thing, and then they go on and do their whatever the resources for the day, be it art, whatever. So we watched the news, and it was really awful to watch because they had a nurse there today to talk about coronavirus. And so the principal and the assistant principal and this nurse,
nurses are terrible people who don't know anything.
Well, the nurse wasn't the problem. The problem was so the assistant principal, the principal, and the nurse were all sitting at a table. They were 6 feet apart, and the principal and the assistant principal were wearing face masks. I don't know if they're doing it for a meme or if they were doing it to show like it's okay to wear these masks or what, but it made it difficult for the principal to talk to the nurse. So she kept just pulling it down away from her mouth so she could talk to the nurse. And I was just like,
that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, I was like, so if you are showing these kids like to wear these masks, you're now also seeing your principal doing it completely wrong.
Yeah, we implemented having to wear masks all around our campus now.
Yeah, hospital. You told me that last time I recorded. Actually,
it was really funny because they're of course now they've almost decided that like, oh, since we're wearing these masks, like we can have a lot more in-person meetings than we should have. Like for medical professionals, they're being really fucking stupid. But sometimes we've been having these, like the this extended emergency department. We've had to have in-person meetings with people to get everything together. Like I get that there are certain mission critical things that you have to do in person because that's the only way to get this stuff done. And, we're talking about people being seen by medical professionals, which is an in-person thing. So I get it to some extent. And so I've been in a lot of meetings for like 4+ hours a day. And to wear that mask for that long, God, it gets so difficult because you start breathing like really hot air all day long. And I remember sitting there and my chief medical officer, we're in this big meeting with getting stuff finalized for this emergency department. And all of a sudden he just kind of stops in the middle of this meeting because he clearly had been going like running a mile a minute, like all day long. He just like pulled his mask down and just started eating like whatever lunch he had, like standing up in front of this room, like talking to everybody. And I'm like, that's clearly not going to be like fit the purpose of wearing these masks. Is just stopping to eat like everything that you have with you. But then at the same time, I think about it from the nursing perspective, like the nurses and the doctors and everybody who's actually doing patient care. Oh, I thought you were like remodeling here for a minute.
And some decorating with lapis.
Yeah, people who are actually doing patient care, you're telling them like, oh, you gotta wear these masks all day. Clearly they have to go on break at some point, and the break rooms are still common areas that you're supposed to wear masks in. You have to be like an allowance of removing of the mask to eat food.
Right.
So it's got to be like built in somewhere, but sure, it definitely makes it less efficient if you're not like wearing them at all times is a pipe dream. It's like it's something that can't really be done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
But just to
I
talk
mean,
because it's like, oh, I'm having trouble talking. Let me just remove this mask to talk to you more. Like that is.
right, yeah. And she also complained at one point about it fogging up her glasses.
Yeah, that
And by the
we've
end
got
of
a
it,
lot of people complain about that.
yeah. But I know she just pulled it down completely just to finish out the rest of the thing. So it's just like, wow, this is awful. But then the next part of their segment for their news, they did a Jeopardy, like school Jeopardy. And so they had like 8 teachers there on teams, and they were sitting at tables, and like at first they're keeping track of like this whole social distancing thing. Like they pretend to give each other high fives and stuff, but they like, don't actually touch and stuff. But then by the end of it, like they're like to like ring the
They
bell
were
to
just
like
having sex. It was crazy.
yeah, by the end it was just an orgy.
Yeah.
Uh, um there was like a tambourine they would ring to like answer the questions, and like they were both like grabbing it and touching it and like all these things, and like I don't know, just the more
It's
I
the
watched
same
it,
tambourine that they had to
yeah,
share.
yeah, it was just like I don't know, it was just freaking me out watching this whole thing. It was just like the whole thing was just giving me anxiety because like you're not. But like for instance, whenever I went to go pick up her packet from the school last Monday, because they sent home this packet of worksheets and all this stuff for 2 weeks, and they did it. They were like, all right, we're only handing this stuff out in the car line. You can't get out of your car or anything. And the teacher or
Why don't they
someone
just
will
mail it or email it?
well, that's the thing. So here's the thing. So the first week she was out of school, that became spring break.
Right,
So they
right.
didn't
I
do
remember
anything,
that.
right? So I didn't, but they did make an announcement. They were like, resources will be available online. If you can't get these resources, then there'll be a packet available at the school starting Monday. Well, I didn't go to the school because this is spring break week, but also like they said that they're available online. So I was like, I have that. I will not go anywhere.
I have online.
Yeah, I'm a subscriber. So I didn't go. And then like the teacher sent out a test thing the Friday night of spring break, saying like I want to make sure all this stuff is set up before Monday because I don't want to like let's go live on Monday and things not work. So like do this thing and like log in here and do this thing. And I'm like, I don't have login information to this thing. Where is that at? And I was like, and she's like, oh, it's in the packet. And I'm like,
The packet
okay,
you
well,
were
I'm
supposed to
looking.
send me online.
Well, yeah, so I was like, I'm looking at all this stuff online. I don't see it. She's like, oh no, those are additional resources. And I'm like, well, that was clear as mud. And she says she was like, yeah, I know it was all very confusing and not very well answered. But like basically they put a bunch of extra stuff online if you're looking for like extracurricular type stuff. But the packet from the teacher had to be picked up in person.
So
Um
we're gonna implement social distancing so that you guys don't have to come like out of your house. So we will make all the resources available online, but to access online, you have to ignore social distancing and everybody come and drive to this line and stand together and get this physical packet from us.
Right. Well, even once you got the packet, the stuff that was online was not the classwork. It was just additional stuff. So no matter what, everyone had to come pick up this packet. Um, and so when I went to go pick up the packet, it was on Monday, and this is what after we decided to go back to switching our daughter back and forth because originally we weren't going to do that because Crystal had to work and all this. And so that was the Monday for her to go back to her mom's house. And so I go to pick up this packet, and there's like 10 teachers standing out in front of the school, and they're not a foot apart. They're just hanging out together, talking. And I'm just like, again, I'm just filled with anxiety. Like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not right at all. Like, you're not doing the thing. And so anyways, her teacher was one of the people out there, and like the art teacher's also out there, and I'm kind of friends with him. I was one of the proctors in his classroom last year for the end of year exams and stuff, and we spent a lot of time talking. And so he was like, oh, I'll bring it to Jason. And then her teacher's like, no, I'm bringing the packet. And so her teacher grabs the packet from him and runs over. And then she comes like up to the window right beside my daughter and is like leaning in the car talking to us. And I'm just like wanting to like drive away. Like I'm being robbed. Like, get out of my window.
See, I'm almost getting immune to this, like the stupidity of the way people are doing, because I've gone to so many in-person meetings in the last 2 weeks that people we'll be in one meeting room together and people start to like space out in the meeting room, and all of a sudden somebody just walks in and is like, oh, an empty seat, and like sits right next to me, and I'm just like, what?
Oh my God.
But
I was at, so I left my house. Did I tell you about going to Costco?
No.
Okay. So
Was
last
it
week,
pure insanity?
it wasn't that bad. I went God, what day was it? I guess it was Friday last week. Um, yeah, because otherwise I would have told you on Thursday if I had already gone. So I went to Costco because I had to go. I had to leave my house to get my grandma's prescriptions filled. If you're one of the people that comments about me standing around not doing anything, I don't have shit to do. Like if you're watching this for some like actual gameplay content, you're just I'm sorry.
Go to the
like,
podcast that doesn't exist anymore.
vote for somebody else. Anyways, there's a guy cut behind you. So I went and got my grandma's prescriptions filled, and I was like, while I'm out, I'm gonna go to Costco because there's like a couple things I would like to have. It wasn't a dire need, and maybe I shouldn't even have done it. But I thought I'd been in the grocery store because that's where my grandma's prescriptions are filled, and they didn't have shit. So I was like, I really want some yeast is what I want, but I knew Costco didn't have that. But I still kind of wanted more flour too, and some fruit because my daughter was coming here. Anyways, I went to Costco. They were limiting the number of people in the store greatly. So as a result, there was a very long line outside of the store with everyone standing 6 feet apart. But it moved fairly quick. People were coming and going pretty fast. The good thing about it was in the store, you know how Costco is. In the store, it was dead. Like, because they were only letting they were counting the people in and out. So like I was never near another person. Which is not like
so you could
Costco
take
experience.
all the cases of toilet paper you needed.
That was the thing. They had everything. Like I think they had overbought some things. They were limiting some things. They were limiting toilet paper to two cases, which is still like a fucking year's supply of toilet paper. They were limited to 2 cases. They were limiting eggs to 1 carton, but it's still 18 or 24 eggs. It's a shitload of eggs. I think it's 24. It is 24, in fact. I know. Which I did buy one of those. But like milk, they were like, please take as much milk as you want. Need more milk, get more milk.
Yeah, it's probably about to expire.
Yeah, I think they bought too much milk. The only thing I could not buy that I wanted was spaghetti noodles and spaghetti sauce. Those are 2 things that they didn't have that I normally do get on my typical Costco run. And the bread flour was in a 50-pound bag, and I just couldn't justify 50 pounds of bread flour.
But I mean, I think that's all they normally sell it in, right?
I don't know, because I got a 25-pound bag of all-purpose flour. Which is still a lot of damn flour, but I mean that's not too much for me. I go through a lot of flour, but I don't go through a lot of bread flour.
I guess 40 pounds is. Yeah, I was thinking actually 25 pounds. That was their normal flour.
Yeah, I think that is the normal. I've never seen that 50-pound bag before, and I stood there for a long time considering it hard. I've been making a lot of bread, but I'm almost out of yeast, so I was like, I ain't got no fucking yeast. Like, what am I gonna do with 50 pounds of bread flour? So I didn't buy the bread flour. But I did consider it. But yeah, no, Costco was actually totally fine. And the difference between how they handle things is just wild too. Like every single person that goes through a line, they wipe off the conveyor up before you can put your stuff up there. Like they're actually like following all the guidelines and constantly cleaning. First at the grocery store, when I went by the grocery store to get my grandma's prescriptions, I was like, I don't have any ground turkey at home. I'm gonna go and get a thing of ground turkey, a big thing of it. As we're checking out, the woman runs her nose across my package, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
And nose across? Like, did she wipe herself on it, or was she?
Basically, that's what it looked like she was doing. I shit you not, it looked like she was wiping her nose on my turkey, and that's why I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, someone bought one earlier, and it was rancid, so I'm sniffing all of them today." And like everything about that just blows my mind. For one thing, I don't want your nostril with your coronavirus anywhere near my package. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to get home and clean the shit out of it, even if it comes in my house because I'm crazy. But if I was her, I wouldn't be rubbing my nostril across anything that any customer just touched.
Sure, but in her mind, I can kind of understand where she's probably just trying to be a good worker for the customer and saying, oh, I've experienced a customer bought a package that happened to be rancid, so I'm going to make sure the same is not happening to future customers. So in her mind, she's probably not doing anything wrong, but in the climate of the situation and in general, just like smelling other people's stuff is kind of weird. It probably is a thing, but literally in her mind, she's probably just being a good person.
Right.
So it's kind of, I can almost understand where she's coming from, but it's still weird. Yeah, she clearly has no social awareness of the situation. Right.
And amidst this grocery store incursion where I was getting my grandma's prescriptions, this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, are you Rodney's boy?" That was my dad's name, by the way.
Oh, so
And
the answer was yes. I was
yeah,
like,
the answer was yes.
What kind of random excuse did you come up with? Be like, yeah, Rodney, man, he's waiting out back.
And so I was like, yeah. And meanwhile, he's coming at me. And I don't want to be near anybody, you know? And so I'm backing up, constantly backing up, like beep, beep. And he's still coming. And
making the
like,
noise. I was making the noise and everything to show that I was backing up.
And he's like, starts telling me about how they work together and how great my dad was and all this. And I'm like, that's great. You know, trying to get further and further away from this guy. And finally, I was like, listen, man, I gotta go. I can't talk. And I ran away from this man because he was going to basically breathe all over me if I had let him.
Well, and little did you know what he was coming up to tell you was how he and your dad used to like embrace in like very manly hugs.
Right.
How he missed that feeling and wanted to, you know,
just wanted to breathe right into my nostrils.
Right. It was just it was their thing. Like it was, and he just missed it. You know.
I'm sure, like, I mean, I would have loved to have heard, like, because I never met this guy before. You know, I would have loved to. He looked like the age where they probably were like around the same age and stuff. But now is not the time, man.
Now is not the time to talk about gun control.
So I don't remember where. Oh, this whole tangent started because so today they did a classroom meeting in her classroom. But rewind back to what I was talking about the school stuff. So they did a Google Hangout stuff. And the teacher kept emphasizing none of the schoolwork is mandatory.
Wait, what?
You know, you guys, right? None of the schoolwork's mandatory. None of it's being, you know, mandated that you do it. I want you all to relax, enjoy time with your family.
With your daughter right now for school, she's still graduating. Like, are you passing?
That's what I don't even know. And she kept saying this. I was like, is this shit being graded? I mean, I know it's being graded because I'm turning it in. I mean, my daughter's turning it in on this app, and I see the teacher's comments on it and like critiques and stuff. So like, I know that she's reading the contents of the things, looking at the math problems, and you know, verifying that it's being done right. But like, I'm also questioning, is this going into a grade book somewhere? Is my daughter graduating still? Because if this is not mandatory, what happens at the end of the year? Is everyone just get a free pass to the next grade?
I'm wondering if they're realizing that they have a lot of people who either don't have the technology and are unable to like participate with like turning some of the stuff in, or if a lot of people are not doing the work that they're supposed to be doing. And like, as you said, the teachers are still working and they're looking at the numbers going, you know, if we graded this stuff, 35% of the class is going to fail at this point. And they're making a decision that, okay, it's not, we're just encouraging, but nothing's going to be required because we can't fail that many people.
Right. See, like, she's in second grade, so she goes to third grade without an end of year state test. Like, there's no mandated test that the teacher decides if she passes or fails. But after that, the four, I think it's fourth and fifth, maybe it's third, fourth, and fifth. Either way, there's a certain point where there's a state test that the teachers basically teach to, that determines whether or not you pass and go on.
A third, fourth, and fifth? Really? I think the only one that I've ever taken that I remember was like the MEP exam. I don't even know. I think
this stuff changed after we were in school for sure.
Well,
I mean, like when I was talking about proctoring earlier, that's why I was there. Proctoring was for the end of year tests that determine if they pass or fail. And like I said, these are state tests. There's not a test the teacher makes. It's the same test across the state. So I wonder how those kids are going to manage to move forward.
Maybe everyone's going to get a pass. All their efforts on those kids, and that's why they're not bothering with the ones that don't have a state exam.
Maybe, I don't know. But so today they did a PSA, and they basically said that the governor has said that these stop to pick up packet stuff is not allowed. So
and hasn't been since the beginning, but
right, it never was a good idea. So starting next week, it'll all be online, but there's going to be less materials because I guess it's not as easy for her to
servers can't handle.
I don't know. I don't know why there's suddenly less materials because there's not a lot of material already. I mean, there's reading, there's math, and then she's doing a weather activity. I don't even know why. That's just a new thing. I guess it's filler content, honestly. And she has her morning worksheets that she would always do in the classroom. So I feel like she still has the same class like papers to do now, currently, this week and last week, but there's no teacher constantly teaching. Like, I mean, I'm doing my best to like look at what she has and be like, all right, well, this is why this is this way, or this is why this makes sense and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like some of the stuff we're teaching is not even the curriculum or whatever. I'm just like, we're reading a lot more books and stuff, and like some of the stuff we're reading, like focusing on what does this word mean and that sort of thing. So I feel my daughter's going to be all right going into the next grade. Like, I feel like she's still doing her work and stuff, but like, I don't know what's going to happen next week and on, because like I said, they said stuff's going online unless you don't have the internet. You have to call them and let them know, and then they'll mail you the stuff, but they're only mailing stuff out to people who can't get it online. But yeah, I don't know how things are going to change. And after she said today, none of this is mandatory, she said, I don't want you all, so her exact words, like, I don't want you all sitting around all day doing worksheets and doing all this work whenever you can be spending time with your family, spending time outside when it's warm and that sort of stuff.
So next school year, when everything's back to normal, you're going to say, I don't want you spending time in my classroom, doing worksheets, when you could be spending time
that's exactly it. Like, I mean, I feel like they're probably trying to balance like the lack of social engagement the kids normally have. Because like today, of her classroom, she has 22 people in her class. 18 of them were in this call. And like at the end, she was like, everyone had to have their mics muted stuff so she could talk. And then once that, and then she went through each kid and asked like, what do you enjoy about being home? What do you miss about going to school? And that sort of stuff. And at the end, she wanted to let the classroom talk to each other, and that was just utter fucking chaos. Because every kid was trying to talk at the same time, so nothing happened at all. But one thing I've done is I've contacted some of the moms I know that are my daughter's like best friends, and now my daughter has her own iPad that was my iPad, but I've set it all up for her schoolwork and stuff. I've also started adding all her friends' contacts in there. So my daughter spent like 3 hours on FaceTime with her best friend this afternoon, and they just both played video games on their other tablet. Like, they both have a Kindle tablet or whatever. And so they played the same game, and they talked, and they just sat there and chatted while they were playing their games. And so,
I mean, what a waste of time to play games with a friend while you're talking.
Yeah, right. It did. Well, that was kind of funny. I was there thinking, I was like, that's what I do for a living. But I could tell a difference in my daughter.
And now she's got more subscribers than PewDiePie.
Right?
Crazy.
But after she spent this time with her friend, I could tell just a complete 180 in her just demeanor, like how she was. Like, I have noticed that she's missing her friends. Like, she expressed it to me 2 weeks ago. Even this was the first week of this happening. She was like, her best friend. She was like, we got an argument on the playground because I was playing with another little girl. And that's last time I talked to her. And so like, I'm worried my friendship and hers is falling apart. Those were her exact words. And I was like, my God, child. I was like, I'm sure that your friendship is not falling apart. Like, it sucks because we were supposed to have a play date over here, like the weekend that school and everything got canceled. That was supposed to be their first outside of school play date. And then that all fell through because of the Corona stuff. But so anyways, luckily I had her mom's number and all that. And so I was able to text her. And so now they spend all day FaceTime, and I can tell that made a big difference. Maybe that, and also the hangout with the classroom and stuff. She seemed to be in a better mood, like socially. So she may not be as much of an introvert as me and her mother. And she needs more of this social interaction that she's not getting right now, just in the house with me or her mom.
But at the same time, do you remember how you were when you were her age?
No. But I always felt like I was always anxious and like didn't want to be around people and stuff. But maybe not. Maybe I was more outgoing before the world beat me down.
Yeah, I remember I used to be wanting to be on the phone all the time back when people would have to call the house and, hi, is Jeff there? And like, nope, I'm on the phone, call back later. Because there was only one phone line that came into the house. There was not, people didn't have cell phones where you can call people. And yeah, I mean, I can be very introverted when I want to be, but at the same time, I could, have different...
Well, you definitely seem like more of an extrovert than I.
I think for the most part I probably am, but it's just different when you're not necessarily physically in front of somebody, and you can like, because clearly like you're sitting there talking to me online right now. If you didn't have like the social connection with your Twitch streamers or your Twitch audience, people you record with, wouldn't you be bored as shit right now if you were really quarantined?
Yeah, no, right. I mean, that's what I keep thinking about. I keep thinking like, it's great that because I mean, before when I wasn't divorced, I worked from home. Like at least I hung out with Crystal. I at least had someone I hung out with. But now, even though I work from home, I feel like I don't sometimes. I mean, that's something I tried to talk to my therapist about when I first started seeing her. Is she's like, don't you get lonely and stuff? And I'm like, not really. I mean, I don't ever feel lonely because I feel like I'm constantly communicating with my friends and stuff, even though I'm not seeing them in person. Like, I still talk to them daily. I talk to my subscribers, my viewers. I talk and they talk back. And so like, I feel like I'm constantly conversing with people, so I don't feel lonely. So I don't know. I did have a long talk with my not girlfriend today, though, and
So a long talk, as in like we are officially not girlfriends?
well, see, so we are so out of time, but basically, long story short, she wanted to know when we'd be able to see each other again. I said 2021, maybe. And she's like, no, this is gonna be over in like a month or two, surely. And I was like, I don't think it is. I was like, I'll tell you one thing. If the president comes out tomorrow and it's like everything's fine, we can go back to see each other. Don't expect to come to my house because like I'm still not going to want to see you or anyone else. I was like, it's not you, it's me, it's the world. It's like this is what it is. And she kind of threw a temper tantrum. I told her she was being selfish and like, I mean, this is long story short. I basically said, you can just feel free to be upset about how things are shitty. That's fine. But like, meanwhile, tens of thousands of people are going to probably die. You can't be upset that you can't hang out with me. Like, get over it. So I wasn't as loving as a not boyfriend should be, I guess. But I think that it's selfish to get upset. I think that there's only so much that can be done, and right now the best thing to do is to not be around each other because I mean, she just went to fucking New York. Her mom's been tested positive for it. Don't talk to me within 100 feet, like much less 6. So
she's living with her mom.
No, but she has seen her and stuff. So like, ugh. So I think that I don't plan on dating for a very long time at this point. Like, I want there to be a vaccine before I'm dating. You know what I mean? I don't know. They're gonna like. I mean, your wife and kids have moved basically because they want to keep away from the possibility of you bringing it home from the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, those are more for her parents' sake. But my wife wants to come back. She's supposed to be coming back at the end of the week. But like I said, who knows what that's going to turn into? Because if this thing gets really bad, I will suggest that they stay away. Right. If it starts to really increase, because not that I think again that the wife and the kids, I'm not as worried about if they get it. The likelihood of them having a detrimental effect from it is so much lower. But right. It's her parents and the people that they're going to interact with, and
right. I don't want to risk it. I mean, there are people that have been our age that have died from it too. So like,
there has been some younger cases coming out now. Yeah, the risking it is something I'd rather not do, but I feel like I'm kind of stuck on the front lines because of the nature of my job, whereas they don't have to be.
Right. I mean, I sat long and hard and thought about whether or not I wanted to tell Crystal, like, all right, if you're dead set on us switching, I'm not. So, like, maybe she should just stay at your house. Cause, like, I feel like I'm very isolated here and I could avoid it indefinitely. Basically, I could live off the land for quite a while if need be. So, like, if this went like apocalyptic level, like, I could avoid it for years probably, versus my daughter getting between houses, Crystal working at a bank. Like, I feel like that's how I'm going to get it. It's going to be through my daughter, just because I feel like, no matter what, it's going to end up going into the other household at some point.
Right.
So, but I mean, I feel like it's going to last so long that I don't want to go that long without seeing my daughter. She'd be a different person by then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If it goes that long.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see a fall marathon this year. I don't think that's going to happen. That's how I think we're looking at 2020's canceled basically.
And I can see that happening because even if things do get back to normal in, let's say, June, July, August time frame, to plan a marathon, it's still like life is not going to be back to normal, even if things open again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think this year's not just the marathon, but this year in a whole is just kind of a wash, unfortunately. Like hell, tomorrow is April Fool's Day, and every other year I always like
find out coronavirus was a joke.
Yeah, God. And like, I don't even want to participate this year. Every year I do want to do something on my YouTube channel or something, but this year, and my daughter's super hyped for it. She loves this April Fool's Day, and she's like, she's already got a plan for what she's gonna do to me and all this stuff. And like, I just don't want to even mess with it because, like, I mean, I'm gonna do something for her because she wants me to, but like publicly, I think I'm just gonna skip out on April Fool's Day this year, just because I don't know, I'm just not into it.
No, making your channel the My Little Pony channel or whatever.
No, right? That's what I do normally every year. It's always ponies. But anyways, we've gone 40 minutes. We should probably go away.
Well, guys, just like all your people who still want to be social together, we're going away.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye.